Today we're going to talk about sidechain compression and its use in electronic dance music. Let's have a look. Okay, so here is the demo, and let's play it first, and we will talk about sidechain compression later. So all the channels, all the musical channels and the sound effect channels contain a sidechain compression. We're gonna go one by one, and then we're gonna apply sidechain compression from zero. So we're gonna explain how to put it on Ableton Live. So first sound, a Rhodes sound. As you can see, sidechain compression, it's applied here. If I just remove it, it will sound like this. With sidechain compression, you can see the sound, it's been like sort of ducked. So for just to explain you what is sidechain compression in a nutshell, sidechain compression, it's when a sound, it's used as a trigger to give the effect to another sound. In our case, this sidechain compression, it's triggered by the kick drum, which is in this channel here. So first of all, how to put the sidechain compression. In my case, most of the time when I'm making a track, I have my groove, and whatever is the groove, or your kick drum, or your hi-hats or anything like this, I duplicate this groove. So in this case, I duplicate the kick drum, which is this one here. I remove all the effects that I don't really use, and then I will just leave the kick drum by itself without any other sound. I will set the level to 0, remove all the sends, and mute the channel and just call it sidechain. The reason you want to mute the channel is because sidechain compression works, well, not always that you have to mute the channel for a reason, but I mute the channel because I want the sidechain compression to be constantly triggered by this muted channel. The fact that it's muted doesn't matter because Ableton can recognize this muted channel in any case. Even if it doesn't sound, it's still there in the background working. So here I already have a sidechain compression. Let's just play it. It's a simple 4x4 kick that stays in the background and it's muted. So you see, every time the kick it's beating up, you see that the glue compressor, it's moving up. And that means every time the kick enters, the sound affected goes down a little bit. And when the kick disappears, it goes up again. So it's doing this ducking, that's how they call it. And if I move the threshold much more, but I mean less, the sidechain compression, it's much more applied and much more noticeable. Where if I do the opposite, if I have less threshold, it's just a very tiny subtle sidechain compression. So that's up to you to find the sweet spot, the one that you want to use. And if you play this in the context with the drums and everything else, the rest, you can see that the sound, it's slightly doing this sort of ducking. And the same for other sound. For example, here we have the sound of the sea waves that I recorded once in Wales. And it's doing the same things. And if I make less threshold, it's going to be much more accentuated if I do the opposite. So, to activate the sidechain, you basically have to do, I take usually a glue compressor because I feel that the glue compressor do the sidechain much better than the normal compressor of Ableton Live. So usually when you open the glue compressor, it comes like this in a box. You just open it with the trigger here, and you put sidechain on, And then you have to take the audio from, so you need to take the signal that is going to be triggered from. And in my case, as I have here a sidechain channel on, I open the window, sidechain, and that's it. That's the sidechain already triggered. And here is already an example, just did for show you. Let's try another sound, the hi-hat here. As you can see, if I remove the glue compressor, sidechain, it's just a flat sound. With the glue compressor on, it's doing this moving. So, sidechain compression, it's been used like so much in pop music, dance, hip hop, electronica. And it's basically, it gives dynamic to the music. It gives this kind of, it makes the music dance in itself. That's basically what's the best explanation of sidechain compression. Let's try this with a new sound, the chimes. So remove the sidechain compression. It's just a normal recording of chimes, sounding very nice, sort of, a static flat recording. And then with the sidechain compression on, you have this ducking again. So let's play all the tracks in the context. And basically the snare and the kick drum, they don't need to be sidechain, obviously. Well, the kick drum is the least, And the bass usually should be sidechain as well. I don't have a bass in this track, but, usually the sidechain should be also sidechain. Actually, the bass is one of the main elements that needs to be sidechain. Let's try to remove the sidechain on all the channel and see the difference. Okay, so I'm just gonna do jump cuts. So here is the track with the sidechain on. All the channel feature the sidechain. And here is the track without the sidechain. You can see that everything sounds much more, sort of without that dynamic that I had before. So let's put back the sidechain. And now the dynamic is back. So that is what sidechain does to your track. It makes the music dance, basically. It makes the music follow the rhythm that you assign. You can assign the sidechain not just to the drums. You can assign the sidechain to anything. For instance, let's make an example. I want this hi-hat to be sidechain with the Rhodes. Why not? Let's try. So now it's working on the sidechain channel, but I can just change it. Let's go to the Rhodes. Okay. And as you can see, the clock thing, it's moving, corresponding to the sound of the Rhodes. And if I put the maximum level, yeah. So you can feel the hi-hat now is following the Rhodes and not the kick drum. So you can assign the sidechain wherever you want to. Let's put it back to the sidechain. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you about the sidechain, which is, let's just put back this one the way it was before. Okay. Also, another things you want to do on the sidechain signal, to any signal of the sidechain that you're applying, the volume of the signal generator, which is in my case the kick drum here, if I put it to 0, the volume, look at what's gonna happen. It's removing the sidechain feeling, because basically the signal is 0, so there is no more signal, and the sidechain compression is looking for the signal, but it's not there. So it's kind of opened the gate, and all the sounds are coming out very, widely. So put it back. So you can also find the sweet spot on the actual volume of the sidechain signal itself. Let's put the maximum volume. Let's see what happens. The sounds are almost disappearing because now the signal is too strong. So you need to find the sweet spot, which usually it's in the middle. And you can also find a sweet spot by looking at here. on the actual volume of the channel. So you see, coming out, go back in. So yeah, that would be the sweet spot to basically around minus 6 dB. But then again, you need to rely on your ear, not always on the numbers. Okay, so you can use the sidechain compression also not on the compressor, but on other effects as well. So let's take the sound of the sound waves. You can use the auto filter with the sidechain compression as well. So let's put the auto filter on. And with the auto filter, you can sweep the sound, and you can have this LFO amount that is basically doing this sweeping on and off. Without, you can have a constant rate or even less constant rate, depending on the velocity of the speed of the LFO moving. If I switch on the sidechain and I add the audio from the sidechain channel, you can hear very subtle that the auto filter, it's moving with the speed of the sidechain kick drum that is coming on and off. I can do the same on the roads. So it's filtering, but it's filtering. So every time the kick drum enters, it's filtering off, and when the kick drums get out, filtering out. So it's always doing this ducking effect. So if you put the context of the track, you have not only the sidechain compression, but you also have the sidechain of the auto filter on certain sounds, not all of them. So that it's an additional push to the dancing movement of the track itself. So yeah, that's everything for today. I hope that you learned something from this sidechain compression tutorial. And then again, sidechain compression, it's used a lot in electronic dance music, hip hop, dance music, drum and bass, electronica, downtempo, even ambient music uses sidechain. It depends on the context you want to use. Doesn't always have to be applied to the drums. It can be applied to many other sounds. And so that's everything for today. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.